John Colo with DiscountJuicers.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you. In this episode, I know a lot of you guys have been waiting for ever since I shared with you guys this very blender actually at the Houseware Show in 2022. So many people have been emailing me, asking me, John, when's the Kuvings commercial vacuum blender coming out? I'm glad to announce it is finally here and available for sale here in the United States. Not only do they have their commercial automatic vacuum blender, which is right here, auto vacuum blender, right? They also have their standard auto blender. This is basically the same exact machine, but without the vacuum functions. As you guys know, I'm all into vacuum. It's the only products I like to promote and offer to you guys, but I thought I'd share with you guys both of these models so you guys could learn the differences between them and which one may be the right one for you. Whether you guys are a high-end, right, this is high-end homeowner that just wants to get the best quality, easiest to use machines in your kitchen that look upscale, that are actually built for commercial use, this model is for you. If you guys are just an average person, not that really well off, then, you know, hey, turn this video off now, do yourselves a favor, because these guys are priced accordingly. They were designed literally from the ground up. Took Kuvings years to develop, design it, and get it right and implement it to create the world's first automatic commercial blender, right? Whether you guys want to get the auto blender that's just, you know, fully automatic with one touch button, you just got to press one button. It basically will do all the blending for you without having to do any kind of controls. It'll open and close the lid, which is the automatic part, which is insane. I mean, it's just like, this is out of the future, guys. Like, seriously. Of course, my bet and my pick is actually the auto vacuum blender. And the reason why this auto vacuum blender takes vacuum blending to the next level is for two reasons. Number one, it makes the vacuum process significantly quicker than any other vacuum blender I've used. Number two, it's fully automatic. So you just put your ingredients in there, you press one button, it closes the lid, it pulls the vacuum, and when you're done, it automatically releases the vacuum within 2 seconds, and then the lid lifts up, and you could easily pull off your top. You can't do this on any other vacuum blender. Every other vacuum blender that I'm aware of, you have to manually release the vacuum, and then sometimes even struggle pulling off the lid of the vacuum blender so that you guys can enjoy your vacuum blended smoothies. This is never going to be a problem again with the Kuvings auto vacuum blender, because it does the vacuuming, it does the vacuum release, it even lifts the lid, so you just got to grab the carafe, open the container, pour it in your glass, and start drinking. Whether you guys are a high-end homeowner or whether you guys have a commercial juice bar establishment, the Kuvings automatic vacuum blenders will save you guys time in your commercial establishment. If I was opening a juice bar, a smoothie shop, or even already had a restaurant or bar where I made a lot of blended items, right? I'd personally invest in the auto vacuum blender. Once again, if it's a business expense, it's a write-off. You could depreciate this. Of course, contact your CPA for doing that. But more importantly, you will differentiate your business against all other smoothie shops or juice shops in your town that are still using the outdated technology of just traditional blending, right? The vacuum blending technology takes your smoothies, your mixtures to the next level, because now you are blending in an oxygen deprived environment that can increase the oxygen sense of nutrients up to 3 times greater. In addition, you're not going to mix in and dilute your smoothies with air. In addition, you're going to retain a much better texture and finer consistency of the blends. And more importantly, especially for you guys that are having juice bars and smoothie bars, you're not blending air into the mixture, so when your customers drink the vacuum blended smoothie, they're not going to get all the gas and bloating that they will get with it using a traditional blender, or when they go to the smoothie shop down the street using a competitor's blender, such as the, you know, Vitamix or Blendtec with the sound enclosures. And if you guys want to see a video soon comparing the Vitamix with the sound enclosure to the Kuvings with sound enclosure, click the subscribe button, because I'll be having that video coming up in maybe just a month or so. So the vacuum blending technology will really revolutionize and make your smoothies better. And let's not forget, like, your smoothies are going to taste better. Number one, if you guys are making smoothies for yourselves or for business for sale, when you make the vacuum blended smoothie, they're going to taste stronger. You're going to taste the punch of more ingredients. Things will taste sweeter. If you put some basil in there, you're going to really the basil's going to hit you in the face. I actually had one customer return a vacuum blender for me because she says, John, everything I make in the vacuum blender tastes stronger. So this means you may be able to save on some of your produce or food costs because now you can maybe put a few less of certain expensive ingredients to make your smoothies taste better, like, you know, herbs and essential oils if you use them when you're vacuum blending, because you're not going to oxidize those flavor profiles when you blend them up. The other thing that's amazing about the vacuum blending technology is, you know, if you blend a smoothie up, especially with bananas, and then drink it in a traditional blender, right, it tastes pretty good once you made it if you drink it right then and there. But if then you let that smoothie sit for a few hours, then come back and drink it, it's tasting really horrible. That is the oxidative damage due to all the dissolved oxygen in the blended mixture that was blended traditionally. Now, when you blend under vacuum and remove the excess oxygen out of the crap before blending, you're not blending all that extra air into the smoothie, so you're not going to swallow it and have extra gas and bloating. But more importantly, there's not air in the smoothie that will then oxidize it further later on down the road. So the smoothie you make now, you know, when you drink it and you can't finish it, is going to taste pretty much the same in just a few hours later. And that is the revolutionary game-changing technology. So that's what I'll be sharing with you guys in this video. I'll be sharing with you guys the technology of the auto blender, the CB980 without the vacuum. And of course, my favorite product of the two is the auto vacuum blender model CB1000, now available in the United States. Now, as you guys can see, my YouTube channel name is called Discount Juicers because I'm always here to get you guys the best discount. I'm gonna hook you guys up with a 10% off discount coupon, DJ10 at CuvingSUSA.com. So once again, links down below. And now, you know, here's the thing, guys. If I've helped you guys with learning and educating you guys about the technology, whether it's vacuum blending, or even all the different juicer technology that I share on my channel, I would encourage you guys to support me in my work by, you know, using the links down below. Kuvings will share a small percentage with me, a small commission with me, so I can continue my work to make these educational videos for you guys where I reveal the truth about the different juicers and blenders for you guys, right? And so this allows me to continue to pay my light bill, pay my editor, and, you know, make all these demos for you guys because it makes me feel wanted and needed. So thank you guys who have used my coupon code and the links down below. And of course, I'm here to save you guys money as well. I'm going to save you guys 10% off when you use that coupon code at the Kuvings USA to buy either of these two machines. So with that, let's go ahead and start unboxing these machines and show you guys what these machines look like. And these guys are definitely large. I mean, you can see me, and you can see these, just the size of these boxes alone are quite large. It's packed quite well, so it will not be getting damaged in shipping. So anyways, let's take these out of the box and show you guys what it comes with. All right, so I got both these blenders out of the box, and as you guys can see, this is the CB980 and this is the CB1000. They actually almost look identical, pretty much, except this is a little more thin line here. This is a little more thicker here because this has the vacuum release. In addition, the control panels are pretty much the same, except this has an extra button for the vacuum function, whereas this has an extra button for the programmable modes that you guys can do. We'll be explaining that in a second, but I also want to share with you guys the different materials that come with your vacuum blender. You know, aside from you get the main motor base, you know, and this motor base actually has a full 3-year warranty, which is long for a commercial warranty because most commercial blenders only have like a 1-year warranty. Of course, on the rest of the parts, you only have a shorter 1-year warranty on some of the other parts of the vacuum blender. You guys can see, you know, they have the lids, and then you got a carafe with the lid there. All this stuff is BPA free using the Eastman Triton material for those of you guys that are health conscious. I want to comment actually on this. Doesn't this look pretty sharp, guys? I mean, this is all stainless steel here on the bottom of that machine. Look, while the stainless steel does look really nice, so does this perfect sound enclosure that significantly reduces the noise out of your blender. This is especially important in a commercial juice bar, smoothie shop, or even your home setting where, you know, a lot of blenders these days are really loud. The vacuum blender enclosure has been designed to really reduce the noise, and not only did Kuvings design a sound enclosure to reduce the noise, but even things from the motor itself and even the blades and the pad here on the blender has been optimized to basically lower the noise that the blender produces when it's running. So while I am operating this sound enclosure lid manually now with my hand, the main thing about this is that this is the world's first automatic lid that will open and close on its own without you having to do anything. So aside from the blender itself and the craft you guys are going to get a few things. Number one, you're going to get the quick start guide, and I encourage you guys to read that quick start guide here. It'll basically tell you about the automatic blend, blend different, and blend customize, how you guys could blend. Now, here's the thing I'll tell you guys straight up. I've been using this vacuum version for several months now, and the thing I'm going to tell you guys is that this is the machine you want to buy if you want everything automatic, right? I wish Kuvings would have designed in a few more manual controls, but this was made for the commercial juice bars where they don't train the juice bar technicians and the people working behind the counter to like rotate the dial and speed it up and speed it down and do all these things. They teach the people how to just press one button, and that's the amazing thing about the Kuvings vacuum blender. It has 35 or more different pre-programmed cycles that you could program each button to basically blend anything you want. Now, in addition, they also have a special programming function where you guys can program your own special functions to blend at a certain RPM for a certain period of time to engage the vacuum or not, you know, obviously on the vacuum version, so that you could control the buttons really easily. This is not a blender for the people that really want to be able to fine tune and blend each time. But if you're doing regular recipes on a regular basis, you could program each of the buttons. Like button number 1 could be used for making green smoothies. Button number 2 could be used for making fruit smoothies. Button number 4 could be used to make soups. Button number 5 could be used for mixing margaritas. Button number 6 on this guy, because this guy only has 5 buttons, could be used for making your, salad dressings, for example, when you put in, some nuts and some orange juice in there to blend that up into nice cream dressing. And I gotta tell you guys, this does an amazing job due to the blade design in basically creaming up all your nuts into a nice creamy sauce. All right, so yeah, read the quick start guide. It'll tell you the basics on how to operate the machine, and it's pretty basic to use, and actually here's the thing. Well, let's go ahead and turn this on and listen carefully. It comes up and it says Kuvings. So anyways, there's a few controls on here. You got program buttons 1 to 6 on the non-vacuum version, and then you have this button here. If you press this button, that's the automatic lid button. So if you have this engaged, it'll automatically lift and close the lid as the blender is running, or when it needs to. You also have a manual speed control up and down if you want to manually control this machine. In addition, you have the stop and start button right here, and then you have a pulse button that you can use to pulse the blender. So it does have all the controls to do everything you want. But the main focus, in my opinion, is actually the pre-programmed buttons that you could program to many different cycles, all right? So that's the quick start guide. You also have a 1-year warranty. This is in the USA and Canada for all the machine except for the motor itself and the base and the touch panel. 3-year warranty on that. In addition, you get the instruction manual right here. And if we open to the instruction manual, it just goes over all the different programs you guys can control to program these buttons for. And here there's 35 general programs, from smoothies to iced coffees to milkshakes to juicing, deep smoothies, large smoothies, heavy coffee, iced cappuccino, medium shake, large shake, small shake, heavy shake, multiple shake, ice cream drinks, thick blend, multiple blend, small cocktail, large cocktail, juice mix, multi-purpose, and general program. So these programs are already built into the machine that you could program any of these buttons to the programs that you need. Maybe you have a coffee shop, you could just use all the basically pre-made iced coffees, heavy coffees, iced cappuccinos, and all these things that I have no clue about. Kuvings has done all the work for you to figure out the optimal program to blend for you guys, so it's going to produce the desired results in the least amount of time. This is the thing that amazed me about this vacuum blender. When I look at these times, the operating time is 18 seconds, 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, 13 seconds, 14, 18, 20. There's a few 30s, there's 150, 140, 45, but basically most of the processing times for the blending times are basically under 20 seconds, which is completely amazing because they have an optimized blade design, optimized craft design that we'll be going over in a little bit. This blender could blend faster than you could get in other blenders due to the design of the craft, which is revolutionary. So that's the instruction manual, of course. So last, included with the machine, you got the recipe book here. And this is the Auto Blender for Business series. Once again, these are made for business, of course. If you're a high-end homeowner, wants to have the highest, best quality appliances to process your food and the most convenience, then definitely one of these machines could be for you as well. But anyways, they have whole sections on here for basic smoothies, green smoothies, natural juices, shakes and slushes, nut milks and coffee, and even frozen desserts. And you can see the beautiful pictures inside this book where they have all the different recipes. And this book is actually quite long. It is over 100 pages, pushing 150 pages of different desserts and mango ice creams and everything you guys could make that they've tested that work with the Kuvings Auto Vacuum Blender. All right, so next I want to go in and explore more of the vacuum blender and show you guys why I like it so much. All right, so first let's go ahead and pop this up. I love when it says Kuvings. Kuvings, and yes, the volume is controllable. You can control the volume either softer or louder. I have this one turned up more loud and this one's a bit softer. You know, if you don't want it to say anything, you could, you know, make it quiet and not talk. Once again, we're gonna go ahead and hit the vacuum button on this. And so now this is the vacuum function that when we blend, it'll automatically vacuum. And then we could hit the lid button. And look at that, the lid pops right up. And now I wanna show you guys the carafe. This is really the magic of why the Kuvings commercial vacuum blenders work so well, is because they have a carafe design like no other I've ever seen before. So of course on the vacuum version you have a different lid than the non-vacuum version. Let's go ahead and show you guys this too. The lid over here, basically, actually I kind of prefer this lid because there's less nooks and crannies in here to clean. But basically this lid is just a lid with two holes so things don't blow up when you're blending. And you won't have any splashes or anything coming out the top. This is non-removable, you know, because it has a sound enclosure so you can't add things in while you're blending, of course. Meanwhile, over on the vacuum blender top, you know, while these lids look similar, they have the same gasket material. This actually has a special design where you could flip this little up and you could see inside there, this opens up actually. And what this is the trap so that should you overfill your carafe, which they don't recommend filling it over 48 ounces, for when you're blending, because the vacuum can suck liquid up and then ruin your vacuum pump, which then, you know, would not be covered under warranty if it's user error. This has a special protection so that no liquid gets sucked into the pump, because first it'll actually go into this little channel here that you will now need to clean, whereas, you know, on the standard lid it doesn't have that apparatus. You know, I've been using this lid and I've never seen I've seen things suck into this little part when I've overfilled it by accident. But I've never seen anything come out of this top section to ruin the vacuum pump like I have done on other vacuum blenders. That being said, underneath here I prefer, once again, this lid because it's a lot cleaner and easier to get into. There's a few more nooks and crannies due to the design of this here, all right? But yeah, these lids are just standard lids. They come off very easily. They have little tabs that kind of lock it in place, and I just basically push it on up, super easy. Easier than any other vacuum blender to get the lid off, so they've done a really good job designing this. But you know, let's talk about these carafes here. These carafes, of course, they have, they're marked in milliliters as well as ounces, and it basically is marked out at 48 ounces max, although the carafe total could contain up to 84 ounces if you peek it out, but you're not supposed to fill it too much, because it may, you know, have some challenges, especially with the vacuum version. And then on the milliliter side, they basically have it's basically a little bit over 1,400 milliliters max fill if you're looking at milliliters. These are BPA-free carafes, nice and heavy duty. I'm sure Kuvings will be offering these carafes separately, because if you own a juice bar, you'll definitely need more than one carafe. And you know, here's the thing about these carafes, guys. While these are BPA-free, 48 ounce max blending capacity, the other unique thing about this machine compared to other blenders on the market, right? This has a single propeller style blade. There's not many blenders on the market that have a propeller blade, and propeller blades have their pros and cons. In my opinion, the Kuvings is taking the propeller blade to the next level because they have the best propeller blade that I've ever tested in any blender. And the reason why I love these propeller blades instead of the cross blades is because if you put in things that are not pre-cut super small, they can basically drop onto one side of the blade and basically just get chopped up. Whereas if you have a star blade, right, things will sit on top of the star and then not fall in. So, you know, this allows you to do more, I would say, quote unquote, food processing type capabilities because of this propeller style blade. In addition, this propeller blade compared to other blenders I've tested that have propeller blades is a lot sharper. And, you know, this has been designed to basically chop things up. You know, I use other blenders with other propeller blades that basically don't chop things up as finely. In all my testing, when I've been testing the Kuvings CB1000 in my home, it's basically chopped up everything quite finely. I'm quite satisfied with the results. And so, I mean, you would think, oh, that's really good innovation, and that's good innovation, but they take innovation to the next level, and this you really can't really see in the video so much, maybe a little bit. If you guys look at this on the side, you guys can see this kind of goes at a soft rake down to this to, like, you know, more harder rake. And if you guys were here to look at the bottom of this, you guys will see this bottom is asymmetrical. I don't really like that word because most people don't really know what asymmetrical is. I like to use like easier language, and I'm going to say this bottom is uneven. You know, most bottoms on blenders are basically flat and even, whereas this bottom is like kind of like uneven, right? The unevenness of this blender bottom really makes a difference. You know, you get a lot better agitation because things aren't going to flow as easy. They're going to be all roughing up and going into the blades and getting chopped up more effectively than on other blenders that have a traditional bottom on it. So yeah, I really like the bottom that is, you know, basically uneven on the bottom. So the revolutionary design of the uneven bottom with the optimized propeller blade that can cut up more larger chunks than star blades, you know, they've got a winner on their hands in my book. You know, either way, if you go with the vacuum version or the non-vacuum, you guys are going to get the benefits of this blender, the Carafes, that they took years to design and perfect. So the next thing I want to do is I want to show you guys actually the difference that vacuum blending makes, because we have the non-vacuum version of the blender, and of course we have the vacuum version of the blender. If I was purchasing one of these, I would only purchase the vacuum version myself because I'm a die-hard fan of vacuum blending. And like my friend Nate says and told me, he's like, John, once you go vac, you never go back. Because once you start vacuum blending and you taste the difference, you realize the difference, you experience the difference, right? You don't want to traditionally blend any longer, especially for you juice bar and smoothie shop owners, right? I want you guys really to up your game. This will like make all your customers say, man, go to John's Smoothie Shop because they got better tasting smoothies than anybody else in this city, because, you know, you guys are using the vacuum blender and all the other fools are still using a traditional blender. That being said, I know some of you guys don't want to wait for the vacuum to work and you guys are sold on blending. So yeah, get the CB980 because it's fully automatic. And let me go ahead and demonstrate that. So we're just going to go ahead and take the carafe off, take off the lid. Same thing on this guy. We got like 9 ounces of basically pure water. We're just gonna put into each of the blenders. Then we have just some tomatoes, just some Roma tomatoes I've cut up into quarters. This is approximately 9 ounces of Roma tomatoes. We're just gonna go ahead and put into each blender. We're gonna just go ahead and put on the lid, put it on the blender base. It'll like give you a little noise letting you know that you set the blender container on the base, right? And so now it's ready to go. It says ready, cover open. And as you guys can see on this one, we have both these buttons illuminated. So it's the vacuum button is illuminated and the cover button is illuminated. And on this one, we have the cover button illuminated. The amazing thing about this machine is that you just literally can press one button. It's right here. It's a quick start button. I'm gonna press the quick start button on both these. What you're gonna see is you're gonna see both lids fall down. You're gonna see this blender start to instantly blend on program number 1, right? And then it's gonna be done blending and then the lid's gonna lift up, right? And then on this guy, on the vacuum version, right, you're gonna see the lid closed, you're gonna hear a pump come on, it's gonna go and literally pump down in less than 15 seconds, 10 to 15 seconds, it's gonna pump down, pull a nice strong vacuum in there that you can actually adjust in the settings menu. And I have this set for the maximum vacuum. and then it's going to pull the vacuum, and then it's going to blend, and then it's going to shut off, release the vacuum within 2 seconds, and the lid will lift up. So actually I'm going to do that right now, and I want you guys to watch the process. We're just not going to edit this part of the video because I want you guys to see how fast these blenders can work, right? Okay, 1, 2, 3, boom! Starts to blend up instantly, boom, pulling a vacuum. Let's see, 5 seconds, 6 seconds, 7 seconds, 9 seconds, 10 seconds, 11, 12, 13 seconds, boom! This one starts to blend too. Meanwhile, this one's almost done blending due to the advanced design of the blade, the offset, and look at this. This totally just lifted up, letting me know that it's done. And over on this guy, we got 5 seconds, countdown timer, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, listen carefully. It's releasing the vacuum on its own, right? And then lifts the cover up automatically once it's done releasing the vacuum. Boom, it's done, right? This is gonna save you guys so much time, especially if you guys are a business owner, or if you're just like wanna like make smoothies at home because you're a business owner like me, and you wanna go in, dump your stuff in the smoothie, hit the button, walk out, you know, continue to work, come back, and boom. The machine tells you it's all done. You've got a vacuum blended smoothie over on this side, and a super fast made smoothie over on this side. And I want to pour these out for you guys so you guys can see truly the difference that vacuum blending can make. Once again, I'm going to encourage you guys to get the vacuum blended version. First, let's go ahead and pour out the traditional blended version here, right? This is a nice fine texture nonetheless, even though it's not vacuum blended. But you guys, I can't even see hardly any seeds in there. These tomato seeds were fully blended up into, like, I don't know, is it blended into dust or just little particles, right? And then over on the vacuum blended side, right, look at this difference this makes, right? Look how much redder this is. Let's go ahead and pour that in there, right? I love the squared off Carafes. It makes cleaning a lot easier than the stupid round Carafes that I like, and they got the nice pour edges. And look at this, pours nice and easy, never a spill out of the Kuvings auto vacuum blender. Look at that, pretty much the same amount. But look at the color, guys. I did not add food coloring in this. This is the effect that vacuum blending can have on your smoothies, right? My friend Kailash, he says, John, when you add water to smoothies, like I did today, you're watering down your smoothie. But when you guys don't vacuum blend, right, and you use a traditional blender, you're airing up your smoothie, which effectively waters it down because now you're not getting the full flavors. You're getting a lot of air mixed in there. And this, the difference air can make. Look at that. This one's full of air. You can see the air bubbles on the top, the foam. I'm not going to say this doesn't produce any foam, but this makes a minimal amount of foam on the top because you didn't mix all the air that you did in with the traditional blender. That being said, this blender also has done quite a fine job. I'm not seeing any major seeds or anything in there as well. So yeah, you guys get to choose. Do you guys want a non-vacuum blended, fully automatic one button to use, or the vacuum blended version that's a lot richer, deeper, probably has more lycopene in there, better flavor, better taste, better storability? I'm serious, you guys. You guys gotta go for the world's first automatic commercial vacuum blender, CB1000 by Kuvings. It's amazing. So now I want to give you guys another demo on how easy these blenders are to clean, right? These are auto cleaning blenders. All you need to do is put a little bit of dish soap in, you know, with some water. I have about 500 milliliters. You could put 400 milliliters. We're just going to go ahead and pour the soapy water and the dish soap in the blender. And just put the lid down once again. And over on this side, non-vacuum version, once again, same soapy water, same soap in there. I think I did like 2 squirts on my pump, my dish soap pump. Put that on the top there. Once again, we're just gonna go ahead and put that on, put this on, and on this side, normally you wouldn't need to use a vacuum when cleaning it. You could just run it non-vacuum mode, so you'd actually press off the vacuum button. But during cleaning, I want to show you guys the difference vacuum could make, because this is going to be more exaggerated, because literally we got soap and water. And if you ever see that Brady Bunch episode where, you know, what is it, Bobby puts too much soap in the dishwasher and the whole room filled up with soap bubbles, right? That's what happens when you don't vacuum blend, because the vacuum blend basically will add all the oxygen and make the soap foam more than when you do it under vacuum. The soap's not really going to foam as much because you're not adding all the oxygen. And once again, the crazy one button touch, quick start button, boom! Look at that, blend it on up, cleaning the blender right up. over on this side, it's pulling that vacuum. Gonna take less than 10 seconds. We're just gonna leave this running full time, not edit this, because this blending action happens so fast on the Kuvings commercial auto blenders. All right, listen carefully. Vacuum releasing. Look at that shrink down. It's amazing, right? And now the lid will lift up automatically. This is amazing, guys. Look at that, man. Imagine when your friends come over to your house and you have an automatic blender. They're just gonna freak out, guys. So look at that. You guys see the difference in this? I'll hold this up for you guys. Look at all the bubbles and how they expanded up to the top there, right? All the extra air mixed in. And under vacuum, look at that. We put the same amount of soap and air bubbles in there. There's significantly less air bubbles over on the vacuum blended side. Of course, for cleaning, you would normally want to have the air bubbles, you know, and the soap bubbles in there. But look at that. This top is literally fully cleaned, as is the carafe once we pull this soapy water out. And look at it, even overflowed my container there. And now just a quick rinse of this, and boom, this carafe is fully clean. What could be easier than the Kuvings Auto Vacuum Blender? Next, let's go ahead and pour this side out. Once again, you know, not a lot of air bubbles in there, guys, because we did it under vacuum. So we have minimal air bubbles. Pouring that out, and look, that doesn't even foam up over the top, right? I mean, yes, this still got clean. Just do a quick rinse that I'm gonna do off camera now. But look at that. That's the difference vacuum blending could make, right? More foam or less foam in all your mixtures. And look at this mixture, right? This tomatoes blended with water is already separating out into distinct layers that are gonna get really kind of like, I would say gross after having this one. This is a lot more consistent, a lot better mixture in there without all the extra air bubbles and foam in there. And then you get to the bottom, it tastes like flavored water, basically. All right, so look at that. This guy's separating a lot, and this guy's barely separating, starting to separate finally. I'll be taste testing those for you guys in a little bit. I'm also gonna be making a green smoothie for myself in the vacuum version of the machine. But in the non-vacuum version, I wanna do sound testing for you guys to show you guys the big difference that the sound enclosure makes on the Kuvings CB980. This is important, especially if you're a restaurant, juice bar, smoothie shop, right? You can't be having like loud blenders disturbing the peace. Literally, if a cop was there, they might give you a ticket. Some blenders are so loud you gotta wear earmuffs so you don't get hearing damage, right? That's the cool thing about both these models. The sound enclosure is actually quite effective. So once again, on this case, we're gonna go ahead and hit the 5 button to have the machine close. I got a sound tester decibel meter right here, and we're just gonna go ahead and let it run as it's going after I hit the 5 button. Cover shuts, starts to blend up. All right, so it peaked out between 79 and 82 with the sound enclosure shut. This time we're gonna go ahead and turn this off so that the sound enclosure will not shut automatically. We're gonna hit the 5 button again, and we're gonna see how loud this blender is. And I want you guys to listen as this is going to hear the difference the sound enclosure makes, you know, when filming on the camera. The mic is probably about 3 feet away from the blender right now. Alright, so that peaked out at like 89 to maybe 91 or something. So literally it was about 10 decibels more quiet when the automatic sound enclosure was shut. Alright, the last demo I want to show you guys today is I want to go ahead and make a green smoothie in the vacuum version, right? And I want to talk to you guys more about the vacuum version of this blender. The amazing thing about this blender that I did not believe until I fully understood how it worked was that how could it pull a vacuum in literally less than 15 seconds, maybe 10 to 15 seconds, where other vacuum blenders could take up to 90 seconds, right? Well, number one, this has a smaller carafe than other vacuum blenders. Number two, if you fill the blender up halfway, then the space where there's no food in there is this portion that the vacuum needs to be pulled on, and the air needs to be pulled out, the excess oxygen. So that's gonna make it faster because of the smaller size carafe, which is nice. But more importantly, it has triple 3 vacuum pumps in there to run in unison. This is more vacuum pumps than any other vacuum blending solution at this time on the planet that I am personally aware of. that is how they're able to literally change and save you. That is literally how they're able to save you guys time from 90 seconds on some vacuum blenders to as short as 10 to 15 seconds, so that you guys have your smoothies sooner rather than later. And especially, you guys know in business, right? Time is money. You can't have your people be waiting for a smoothie to come up or get ready or to be blended. So they've optimized the speed at which the vacuum is sucked, and more importantly, the speed at which your blender blends are made. So they've reduced this time, so you have the fastest, healthiest blends, best tasting blends ever made in a juice bar. Hopefully soon in your juice bar after you guys buy the Kuvings CB1000. Vacuum blending is the only way I blend in my home personally, because I know the difference it makes. And let's go ahead and do a recipe for you guys. Always when you guys want to fill the carafe, I encourage you guys to remove it from the base so you don't spill anything on this base, although these pads are removable. This pad here is removable if you guys need to clean it. So for this recipe, we got basically 10 ounces of coconut water going right in the blender. Next thing is, we got some bananas. We got 2 bananas. They're a little bit thawed out now because they've been sitting out a little bit. So we got 2 thawed out bananas going right in. And then of course I have about 8 collard leaves, fresh picked from my garden. You could put them in a whole, but I like to basically just crush them up, you know, just a little bit to get them in there. Put that lid on, and the amazing thing about this blender is, once again, we got the automatic on, and instead of hitting the quick start button, which will then blend it on number 1, I'm just going to go ahead and hit button number 5, which is going to give it a little bit longer blending time, but it'll still automatically close the lid, suck a vacuum, and then blend. So I want to show you guys actually the part where it's sucking a vacuum, and we can see the countdown on actually how long it takes. All right. Okay, it's vacuuming down. It tells you what percentage is done. It's 5 seconds, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 seconds it took to vacuum. Now it's blending it on up. It's going to blend for about 25 seconds. Make this into a nice smooth mixture where I won't be able to see any of the green particles of the leaves, because it's getting fully blended up under vacuum without all the oxidative damage. Before I can even finish talking, 3 seconds left, 2 seconds left, 1 second left. Listen carefully. Lets out the vacuum for you so that you don't have to struggle with it later. And then if you're running a business, you can collect the person's money, come back, the blender lets you know that the smoothie is done, beeps at you, you could take this off, easily clip this lever up, and we're gonna go ahead and pour this vacuum blended green smoothie into my cup here. Look at that. Look at that nice consistency of that vacuum blended smoothie right up to the brim there. Oh, I'm so thirsty. I gotta drink this, man. I'm so thirsty right now. Look at that vacuum blended smoothie. Nice consistency. Let's go ahead and taste that and tell you guys what it tastes like. Wow. That's a recipe you guys gotta offer, guys. Seriously. Not tasting any major parts of any kind of leaves or anything. It seems like the bananas got blended up pretty good to me too. Completely delicious, made in the Kuvings vacuum blender. Vacuum blending has never been done so fast or quickly or easily than in the Kuvings CB1000 auto commercial vacuum blender. Once again, this is made for juice bars, guys, and restaurants and things like that that want to basically up their smoothie game. World's first automatic vacuum blender. My dream is that all the smoothie shops in the world start using vacuum blenders, and then people start going to smoothie shops instead of using their own home blender to blend, because their home blender is inferior when you're blending in the oxygen. So they're going to go to your shop to support you guys until they figure they could buy their own vacuum blender for their home that, you know, costs a lot less than the commercial model. Of course, Kuvings has a home vacuum blender that they've had out for many years. Actually, I think they're the first company in the United States to introduce a home vacuum blender model. I guess final thing, I want to go ahead and taste test the tomatoes, let you guys know what it tastes like. First, we're going to go ahead and taste this one. And actually, look at this. I want to just, you know, show you guys this. If we just try to pour it out, it's just all congealed there at the top. Guys, I'm drinking like foam, man. It's not that good. Now if I do this, right, this is a lot more thinner mixture, a lot better mixture. Let's go ahead and try this. Wow. Not instead of foam, this has more of consistency, if it makes sense, of like a soup, of a Campbell's soup actually. It's blended up quite finely. You could actually heat this up and actually turn it into a soup, condense it down, add some additional ingredients in there. Texture is just so much better. Vacuum blended. So what I want to share with you guys and leave you guys with today is that vacuum blending is the future. Whether your business or you want to adopt this sooner rather than later in your home, mark my words, vacuum blending is here to stay. And you can differentiate your business and get more customers by going vacuum instead of not. And I want you guys to do this now and don't get left behind before all the other shops in your city have vacuum blenders and then you're the guy left out and nobody's buying your smoothies anymore because the other shops basically have better tasting smoothies than you, just because, even if they're using the same ingredients, just because they're using a vacuum blender and excluding the excess oxygen before they blend. And of course, if you guys are a high-end homeowner, this is the vacuum blender you guys want to buy if you want to have fully automatic controls, one-touch vacuum blending, and program this for all your specific recipes. Of course, while there are 35 pre-programmed recipes that you could set any of these buttons to, 1 to 5 here, 1 to 6 there, you could also make your own custom programs and, you know, have it blend for 10 seconds on low, and then up it to 20 seconds on medium, and then go up to high, and then drop it down to nothing for a couple seconds, and then blend high, and you can make all the programs you want, custom programs, and just program it to these buttons so you guys can get the exact blends that you do every single time, quickly and easily, without having to play with the dials or controls on your blender like all the outdated blenders of this day that still have controls like a volume control on those old TVs, right? Catch up with the new times. The Kuvings CB980 and CB1000 will allow you to do that. This is the latest technology in automatic blending and, of course, on automatic vacuum blending, which is my pick, my favorite. I've been using this very machine in my home for several months now, and, you know, I'll tell you guys again, once you go back, you don't go back, and I don't want you guys to air up your smoothies, whether you guys are airing it up at home for your home smoothies, or more importantly in a commercial setting where you're basically airing up and doing a disservice to all your customers by selling them extra air. Of course, that actually fills extra space in the glasses, so maybe you could give them a little bit less product, but the product will go bad faster, and you will not be known for the best tasting smoothies in your city. So if you guys want to take your business to the next level and buy the Kuvings CB980 commercial auto blender or the commercial auto vacuum blender CB1000, make sure you use the coupon code. I'll pop it up right there, DJ10 at Kuvings USA. I'll put links right down below this video so you guys could go directly to Kuvings and buy it before it sells out. I do know that they have a limited quantity of these units available because on their first shipment, initial shipment, they didn't bring a ton of them in, so I want you guys to get one now if you want it, because it will sell out, and based on past experience, you will be waiting a month or two before Kuvings could actually restock and get more in. So I want you guys to get this game-changing blender today if you've enjoyed this episode and you feel it is right for your business or even for your home. Now, if you guys enjoyed this episode, me doing vacuum blending and share with you guys all the information on the brand new Kuvings vacuum blenders, hey, please be sure to give this a big thumbs up. More importantly, share this with other people that own juice bars, and maybe get your local juice bar owner, hey, watch this guy John's video. You guys could upgrade your equipment to make better tasting smoothies and get more customers and be differentiated over other smoothie shops, right? And adopt the latest and greatest technology. How many of you guys have the latest and greatest iPhone, right? This is the latest and greatest vacuum blender that, in my opinion, will change your life a lot more than the latest and greatest iPhone, because it'll allow you to eat healthier. And, you know, we only have one life to live, and, you know, my health is my greatest wealth, and hopefully your health is your greatest wealth as well. Also, be sure to click that subscribe button right down below so you don't miss out on new and upcoming episodes I've coming out about every 5 to 7 days. You don't know where I'll show up, what you'll be learning, what new blenders or juicers I'll be comparing, or other appliances that allow you to eat more fruits and vegetables processed in the best ways possible. Make sure you click the little bells to get notified as many videos come out, and finally be sure to check your past episodes. My past episodes are a wealth of knowledge, over 700 episodes at this time on the channel, dedicated to teach you guys all about the best equipment to process fruits and vegetables and other plant foods at home so you guys can get healthier because of it. So with that, my name is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com. Be sure to visit DiscountJuicers.com/YouTube for special promotional offers for YouTube visitors.